Hey, everybody, and welcome on in to another season preview of Huntington Beach Oilers baseball. I'm here with manager Benji Medure as the regular season gets set to kick off on Tuesday, February the 17th. If Mother Nature doesn't have to have a hand in this, rain coming into Southern California, we cross our fingers, but somehow around the baseball season, rain decides to come. Benji, thanks so much for taking the time. Happy baseball season, and how you doing?
True to form, it's raining day one of baseball season. I'm doing well. It's been fun. It's been a good year. It's fun to be around these guys, really good group of guys. And I feel good in year 26, and I still feel like it's year one. I'm that excited.
Well, you kind of took the first question out of my mouth. It was year 26 for you, year 4 for me broadcasting the Oilers. So I've been kind of here 1/6-ish of your tenure here at Huntington Beach. If you had to tell yourself, maybe not year 1 Benji Medure at Huntington Beach, but let's go with year 10. So 16 years ago.
Okay.
What would you tell yourself about the journey that you've personally been on and how the program has been on over that period of time?
Well, if you would have told me in year 10 that it was going to be what it is now, I wouldn't have believed it. I didn't think it was. I honestly didn't think the school was capable of it. It just didn't seem that way, and it just never felt like we were gaining enough traction. Now, 2009, we went to the finals, and I thought, okay, that should help us. That should springboard us. And the next year, we were 11-15, and it was just a really tough year. So in that year, I think, I don't know if it could ever get this good. But I would have told myself to just keep going, because that's what I did. And that's when Tegan and I got married in 2009 or 2008. But 2009, that was her first baseball season with me, and we've been good since. So I would have told myself, just keep going. You're in a good spot, and I wouldn't have guessed I was going to have 4 daughters to go along with it. But so proud of our growth over the last 16 years for sure.
So it equates to happy wife, happy life, 100%. Equates to better baseball seasons.
100%. 100%. I swear. Yeah. That is exactly what it is.
Hey, whatever the recipe is, it works out for Huntington Beach. Now, what would you tell 4 years ago me coming into the program for the first time? We joke all the time. My first game at Gray Park in the rain, 48 degrees or whatever it was against Foothill High School. What would you tell that kid?
Right.
Of what the next 3+ years was going to be like in this program, all the highs and the lows included?
I would have told that kid, you're about to go on a good ride. You're about to go on a good ride, and you're going to be so invested in it that you are legitimately going to get angry at games, and you're going to get sad after we lose some games, and you're going to have an opportunity to travel with us, and it's going to be a great experience for you. That's what I would have told that kid. If I would have known exactly what was going to happen, I would have told that kid that exact phrase.
I promise the vein in the neck is very calm right now for me because we haven't hit the regular season yet, so we'll see where that vein is about maybe 5-10 Boris Classic time in April, where that vein is in that place.
I understand the vein in the neck thing. Believe me, I do. And then I get it right here in the middle.
Right in the middle. Exactly. Well, looking at the 2026 season, it begins again February 17th, pending rain at Loyola. Let's go through the first little portion of this schedule, the non-league, because we know how the Sunset League works out.
Right.
You got the Loyola Cubs, Sierra Canyon, Harvard Westlake, and of course the home opener here against Servite.
Right.
How did picking those 4 games or kind of setting the schedule early on, we always joke, glutton for punishment, masochist in a way.
Yeah.
How do these 4 non-league games kind of add on to what the Oilers have done in the past, or what does it mean for this season in 2026?
Well, with the playoffs, you have to play, your power ranking, the teams that you play, it figures into your final point total at the end, to place you in the playoffs. And going to North Carolina and playing the best teams in America did not help because California doesn't count out of state in power rankings. So I wanted to find the toughest games in state that we possibly could play. Obviously with our preseason, loading up with Bosco and Olu right before the season started, because I know how tough Loyola is and what a good job Keith does. I know Sierra Canyon is young, but very, very well coached by Tom Usborne. And then there's obviously Harvard Westlake, who we can't stand and we hate.
Yes.
I love Coach Halper. I do. But obviously we want to play them because I think they're one of the better teams always perennially in California and also in the nation. So Love stacking it, love making it tough on our guys, because I don't think, and if we fail, we fail. It's early in the season, and that's what early in the season's all about. It really doesn't matter what happens early, is what happens late. And so playing in those tough games, we can draw upon those experiences when we get into really tough times, when it really matters, and say, hey, we've been there before, and we can play slowly and play the baseball that we should be playing.
And you look at, again, we already know the Sunset League, the 6 teams. You play those in a 3-game series format. It started last year, it continues this year. So that's kind of business as usual in some way, shape, or form. Going from the end of last season, 24-5 record, a bunch of seniors that have moved on now to the collegiate ranks. You're wearing, Tyler Belrose and Ethan Porter's Oregon State at this moment.
Representing Port.
Hey, the black and orange runs deep throughout collegiate baseball. But how that season ended in an early playoff exit to Santa Margarita, and now losing that senior class, getting a new crop of JV call-ups and some, Frosh call-ups, and then some transfer kids. We'll start with some of the transfers that are going to be notable on this staff. Parker Leoff and Caden Hammond. Parker Leoff coming from Redondo Union, and Caden Hammond coming in from the state of Arizona. What do those two players bring to the table in a sense that really makes this offense and defensive unit complete?
Well, one, replacing that senior class last year is a tough gig for these guys, just because that's such a special class, and they were around for a long time. They were very experienced. All we had to do was just kind of roll the ball out there and just let them go to work, and we were going to win more times than not. This year is a little less experienced, but better. You can hear them hitting behind us right now. Like they're incredible kids and incredible leaders, and that's what's making this year so much fun. Is that we have to coach, and we have to teach, and we have to be patient, and all the things that we didn't have to do in the 25 class. But that's so much more rewarding when we succeed in the end. Speaking of the transfers, like Parker came in and everybody loved him from the get. And Caden came in like he was the mayor of Huntington Beach, just talking to everybody, and like he's mic'd up and he doesn't stop talking, and he fit in right away too. And they both, the best part about them is that they believe in our culture. They believe in Huntington. They love it. They're bleeding black and orange very early on. And they saw their growth, and it's fun to watch them grow in our culture, because it's real. It's real what we do here, and people come in. If they buy in, they're going to get the most out of it, and these two did that. And
for those that watch the Huntington Beach Instagram page, yes, we did mic Caden Hammond on Team Photo Day. What were your initial thoughts? And then when you saw the final product, how do you think Caden did? As without any notes, I just said, here's a mic, go out and have a good time.
Like I said, he's the mayor. He could talk, and he did a good job. He did do a good job on the football side. Now, we had our first pitch dinner that last Friday, and he was in charge of doing the imitation of me. Yeah. And I would give him a D+ on that. He did not, like Freddie, the year before, Freddie and Julie nailed it. He even got the voice inflections and the high pitch,
and the look.
Everything about it. Everything he said, Freddie owned that one. That was pretty good. Caden should, in all fairness, he's only known me for 6 months, so he couldn't really run with it like Freddie did. So I'll give him a lower grade than his interview skills were the other day.
Hey, true honesty here at Huntington Beach. That's what it's about.
Right between the eyes, babe. You're gonna get the truth.
Hey, truth is all that matters here at Huntington Beach. But then you look at, besides those two transfers, you also talk about some of the kids that have been called up from the JV Frosh level, and even some that are coming into this program for the very first time. So I'll rattle off some names. You tell me first thing that comes to mind. Okay. Eli Mason.
Very athletic, going to play a huge role in our program for the next 2 years.
Rex Fox.
Sneaky barrel. Has had a really good fall, and offensively. We wanted to make sure he tightened up defensively, but a big surprise.
Incoming freshman. First time a freshman has made the varsity team since Jared Grinlinger did it back in his freshman season. Catcher Mason Doan.
He's our future. He's pretty dang good, man. We just got to get him to not be 14 years old. You know what I mean? And that he's a very young freshman, and it speeds up on him. It's a lot, and we have to remember that he was catching, an 8th grader last year, and now he's playing with the big boys at like U of A and ASU, and we're throwing him in there and we're expecting him to handle it. And so We'll be patient with him, but he's coming.
And last but not least, I'm going to go with the outfielder, Eddie Lucero, sophomore who has a lot of speed and a lot of ability to put the ball in play.
He's electric for sure. He has a little growth to do, obviously, and some maturing. But when he gets in there, he reminds me a lot of Goldie, the things that he can do and the talent that he has. I just need him to get Goldie's head, because Goldie always had a really strong mind and was thinking ahead. That's what I need Eddie to do.
And creating this entire team culture going into the season. A lot of work went into, of course, the summer, the fall, and now here in the winter through quote-unquote scrimmage spring training, as I call it. Last 2 games, or actually the last 3 games, against high-quality potential teams in the postseason. Yeah. You had El Dorado over the weekend, and then before that, St. John Bosco, number 1 team in the country, and then you went on the road to Orange Lutheran, the number 3 team in the country. Why are those games so critical, not just to Huntington Beach, but for any team preparing for a season to go after, as some people would call, bigger dogs overall?
Right. I mean, we're trying to figure out who's real. We're trying to figure out who we can trust. And, if we're playing a lesser tier school and we have a kid who's like totally comfortable and he's going off, that doesn't really speak to what he's going to do when you're in the first round of the playoffs and you're facing someone's dude. You're facing Angel Cervantes from Warren, or you're facing Gary Morris from Olu, and how are you going to perform when there's 2,000 people here at Huntington and it's loud and it's intense and it's win or go home. You have to challenge yourself early. I truly believe that. And so that's the preseason schedule. That's the last couple games of the winter have been just freaking, whoa, that's a gauntlet that you just threw at his coach. And, not to mention who we played in Arizona. We played South Point Catholic, the Tucson champ, and Hamilton, who's perennially a state champ in Arizona. Like we went after it. We've gone after it the last couple of weeks. So when the bell rings on February 17th, we can say, hey, we're ready. We're tested.
And then you also look at, we'll circle back here quickly to the Sunset League. Last year, Newport Harbor was a pivotal thorn in the Oilers' side. They were the only team to win a series against Huntington Beach. How do you feel the Oilers go against the Sunset League this year as a whole?
It's going to be tougher than it has been in years. Starting with Newport, obviously they had our number last year. They literally had us beat 3 times, but we ran into some luck in the last inning of game 1. But Josh is such a great coach there. He does a great job. Fountain Valley has a senior heavy class that is very talented with some talented underclassmen. Los Al has a new coach, Coach Chin, who is one of the better baseball minds around. I know they're always going to be tough. Edison has a really tough pitcher that can beat us. Marina is, Andrew's doing a great job over there keeping them solid. And Corona Del Mar has some arms that were experienced. So, this is a gauntlet. This is 18 games. They're going to be really tough games. Really proud of our league, though, because, Newport's in the Boris this year, so is Fountain Valley. Mm-hmm. The Sunset League has a reputation from the past of being one of the better leagues in California and the nation, and I want to get back to that. I want to get back to every team is like, whoa, because when I first heard who was in the Sunset League, I'm like, that's one league. I couldn't believe that was a league. That's 6 freaking tough teams, and I want to get back to that. And I think we're getting there.
And looking at it now from a coaching perspective, as the manager, 26 seasons, I'm going to go with the little this or that, and It could be. I'm going to give you 2 words, and I want you to think about it from a player's perspective, how you view players and how you view some of your coaches as well. Which adjective you would prefer, or maybe it's a little bit of both, but you tell me what you think as 26-year manager here at Huntington Beach.
I'm so scared what I'm about to say.
Hey, I got to throw a little bit of a curveball every year when we do this. Again, 3rd year doing this preseason interview, so I got to keep it spicy in some set of the word. Okay. Here we go. Would you rather have a player or coach who's energetic or confident?
Energetic.
Why?
I feel like when you have good energy, it helps other people.
Tenacity or determination?
Tenacity, 100%. I want to be the dog nipping at you, getting after you the whole time, and never stopping. That's like having two older brothers that just absolutely kicked my butt every day. I cried every day of my life until I was 13. Like, I would not stop. I think that's what it was. They got sick of me, so they just had to like put me down. They just had to freaking beat the crap out of me to get me to stop. Tenacity is huge for me.
Do the brothers still come to games and do the same exact thing?
They'll let me know when I do something wrong. My middle brother's still mad at me for not taking Otto out in the national, the NHSI against Corona in 2024. Like, he's still mad at me. He still brings that up. Yeah. Why didn't you take him out? Gosh, he was trying to call my cell phone in the dugout watching the game to tell me to take him out. He's very.
That sounds like a Medure household kind of thing.
For sure.
Last one here before I get to a funny one at the very end. Do you want a player or a coach who is more emphasis on agility or strength?
I think agility wins out ultimately. You know, you could be really strong and stiff and can't hit a curveball. I think agility just makes you more adaptable.
And this one, I want you to buckle the seatbelt for this one because everybody wants to know this one. You're a big health guy, so you maybe know where I'm going with this question. Are you team sauna or team cold plunge? I feel I know this one. We've talked about it a little bit here and there, but sauna or cold plunge, what is the team? If you had one chance to go for it, what are you going for?
That is so hard. For the sole reason that there's nothing enjoyable about the cold plunge. Like, nothing. It is hell every day. I wake up and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do that. I try to negotiate with myself that I don't have to do it. In the sauna, you just sit in there and my wife and I watch a movie and it's pretty awesome. I'm going to go team sauna just because I get to share it with Tegan. So that's good.
Again, the wife wins. Happy wife, happy life. I almost was going to joke, and I'll do it right now. If we did some sort of a mid-season interview, kind of like Kevin Hart and his podcast, Cold as Balls, you're both in ice baths, would you be game for that?
I can't talk when I'm in the cold plunge. I'm freezing, man.
We just throw a bucket of ice on both of us.
I'm just trying to like not lose it. No, and I won't do it in the sauna either because I'm not getting all sweaty with you in the sauna.
No. That's why I said cold plunge before sauna. I knew what I was getting into, and trust me in a cold plunge, maybe that would be a great 30 to 35 second interview.
You wouldn't have a chance to talk, man. There's no way. No way.
You're issuing a challenge. Yeah. I feel if you're issuing a challenge, I might need to accept it in some way.
All right. Maybe we'll do it.
Maybe we'll figure it out. But lastly, before I let you go here on the preseason interview for the Oilers as we get set for the 2026 season, Boris Classic bracket came out yesterday, and the Oilers are going to be playing Los Osos on April the 7th at noon at Mater Dei High School. The tournament within itself, it's the only tournament that the Oilers are going to be a part of this year. You get a 1-year break from Cary, North Carolina, hopefully to get an invitation back in 2027. The emphasis that goes into that tournament, 16 phenomenal teams. You mentioned Fountain Valley, Newport Harbor getting their invitation as well. Yeah. Top talent, St. John Bosco, Olu, Corona, you name them, they're there. Right. It's still very early. We haven't even played a regular season game quite yet this year. Right. What is all the mentality that goes into the Boris Classic, maybe this year that maybe hasn't gone into it in years past?
It is our one tournament. It is our one tournament, and we're going to put all of our eggs into that and try to win it. We're going to make it a focus to win that thing. Not that we haven't before, but like it's our one thing we want to show well. So we're going to prep for that as much as possible. Going to North Carolina and then coming back to the Boris, or going to the Boris and then North Carolina, like that's such a gauntlet that is so exhausting and hard that the expectation is just like kind of low. You're just like, I don't know how we're going to be able to pull this off. But when you got this 1 week to focus on, we'll be able to bear down on teams and scouting reports and all that. So we're going to go all in and treat it like it's the World Series.
Nothing less but the best here from Huntington Beach. Yeah. Coach Benji Medure, thank you so much for taking the time. The 2026 varsity spring season, tentatively for February 17th. Again, Mother Nature is going to have a hand in this some way, shape, or form, but keep it tuned to when those games, if those games get rescheduled. The field looks fantastic here. Yeah. Huntington Beach, the home games will be coming under the sun sooner rather than later. But Benji, thanks so much for taking the time. I appreciate it. And any final thoughts for this season?
I just want to make sure you're around the whole year. Right? Well, make sure you're around. No, we're so happy to have you back, man. and really excited to get the season going for sure. So glad to have you year 4, right?
Year 4. You better believe it.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Thanks, fans, for tuning on in. And again, the Oilers season just around the corner. Pray for no rain, and then you'll see Benji Medure and the boys out there getting ready for the 2026 varsity season. Benji, again, thanks for taking the time. And as always, let's go Oilers.